the schedule that we got coming up, I know he's gonna get a couple of days. So just for me to really like take the time and work on it and get everything right, and then shit, by Sunday I should be perfectly fine.
How much did it impact your play? Obviously,
It didn't impact my playing at all, because I'm one of the guys. Once I'm playing, I can ignore everything that's going on. So I'm not gonna sit up here and say it impacted my playing, but I will be ready to play Sunday.
How long was it bothering you? Just the start of the season, or was there a specific game?
Yeah, it's been around the start of the season. Yeah, but like I said, it's not nothing that I'm worried about. That we worried about. Fine.
Terry, there's been some struggles there, obviously, but it's still early in the season. Can you just kind of reflect on the season so far and what you can do better, maybe?
I can do a lot of things better, which is I know it's gonna happen. You just gotta appreciate the struggle and everything that comes with it. But I know once this thing turns, it's gonna turn, and it's gonna be super beneficial for me and for the guys. So, just gotta appreciate the struggle, everything that's that I'm going through right now.
Do you see Sunday as a likely date to return, or do you just not know yet?
I don't know yet. Obviously, I'm hoping for the best, but I think I'll be in practice tomorrow, getting up and down. I think I'll be fine.
Yeah. The road trip, I thought we did some good things. We have some clarity on what we need to do better. And then, the way that road trip ended and then having to come back and play a home game, I think we all needed just a couple days at least to recalibrate and then have some practice time.
Is there anything specific you're targeting during this break now that you have time to actually get on the practice court?
Yeah, there are. It's on both sides of the floor, but you give a head coach in this league, some practice time, we'll figure out how to fill it in, and hopefully we're being efficient with it and working on the things that can move the needle.
How much is it relief to get the news that Terry's already came back clean? He expects to be a short-term thing.
Yeah. And the same with Jaime, with both of them, just making sure that they feel good. And this break happened at a good time for both of them. It's never a good time to get hurt, but at least you have a few more days to get treatment and do what they're doing right now to start to try to ramp up.
The defensive uptick the last few games, how much of that has to do with, a lot goes into it, but the defensive rebounding improving and eliminating those opportunities?
As you can imagine, it's been a big point of emphasis, but it's been a point of emphasis for going on a few weeks. So, we started out the season poorly in that department. I think it was really damaging, not just your overall defense, but those can be deflating plays. You burn a bunch of calories, you do a bunch of things right, and then you give up a second chance, opportunity. We take pride in finishing our defense. We were a very good defense rebounding team last year. We just have to get back to that, those habits and that commitment.
Well, on the defense, rankings are different because it's early, but the defensive rating is almost bang on what it was last year. Do you feel like the way the team is running the scheme and all the indicators that you want to see defensively are they trending where you want them?
Well, for a couple games, there's some things that I do like in terms of our activity. If we rebounded better, earlier on, I would have liked to have seen what those metrics, could have looked like. But that's a, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But like I said when I started, we have an idea. There's some clarity on, the big things that we need to take care of. And that's what we're working on right now.
A lot of times when you pull a player out of the deep freeze, you might not know what you're going to get after he sits 4 or 5 games. But Alec has a career of doing that.
Yeah.
He did that in New York. He did it during the playoffs. Is there a comfort in knowing that, hey, it might not be a week where you're playing, but you're going to be good as soon as I put you in, or helpful as soon as I put you in?
He's such a great example, for young players coming in to always be ready, to be prepared, to understand what the system is and understand how you can bring value, and then not get caught up in all the emotional wild swings when maybe your playing time isn't going exactly how you want it to, or when you're not getting maybe offensive opportunities you want, whatever it can be that can distract and sometimes derail younger players. He's a pro's pro, and that gets thrown around often, but when you actually experience it and see it, you really appreciate it. I let him know that too the other day. He's stacking up good performances every time he plays, and it just makes a head coach think, and that's what you want. You want more players impacting winning, impacting the game while they're in there, and then making you think, like, how can you find more consistent time for a guy. But he was really good the other night, but he's been good in all of his stints.
He told me one benefit here is there's always an opportunity to play 3-on-3, extra workout time. The coaches are there for you. How much is that part of your program for guys who don't play that you make available, that there's opportunities to keep your game legs, to get action, to work with the young players, to get on the practice court even before a game?
Well, I mean, that's the deal Pat brought here 30 years ago, right? Best condition. So one way or another, you're going to be physically prepared. But yes, the playing is also a part of it. Competing and staying like up to date with what we're emphasizing. That's giving yourself the best chance that when your number is called, that you have an opportunity to perform.
Coach, you talked about the playing time, and obviously for Kalel, when he's kind of talking to him, he has that patience. He knows that he has to develop. Can you just kind of talk about what's going on behind the scenes with him and the drive that he's putting in?
Yeah, he's really committed to the whole process, and part of that process is just quiet all the noise. Everybody has all these expectations, and rightly so. And if he's not playing a certain amount of minutes, or if he doesn't get in a game, that doesn't mean that things are going poorly. Quite the contrary. He's doing a lot of really good things. Really good practice today. And what I just said about Alec, that's a lesson, for him that I think he actually is taking to heart. Control what you can control. Stack good days. You keep on doing those good days. It leaves an impression on the head coach and the rest of the coaching staff, your teammates, and he's getting better. He still has to learn the league, learn how things go. But he's making a lot of forward steps behind the scenes, and that's what you want to see with young players.
And just focusing a little bit also on Duncan, it seems like it's a seamless transition for kind of producing off the bench, being in the starting lineup like last game. Can you just kind of talk about his versatility in those departments?
He's done both, and he's done both those roles very well over the 7 years. He's comfortable playing with Jimmy and Bam. He also is comfortable, developing a really good connection with K-Love and Jaime, off the bench. At this point, you need all of it. I mean, I love his ignitability, and that's coming too. Tyler's shown that right now. Duncan has that ability to blow open games, and 5 out of 6 in a quarter in the game is done. And that avalanche is coming soon, which I think will also really help our offense.
Erik made a story about the influence and impact of European players in the NBA. You come in the league 1995, you take a look at it 30 years. How has this influence and impact of European players changed?
Well, it's a global game for sure. I mean, we saw it this year in the Olympics. You talk about 1992, how many foreign players were playing, and it was less than 10. Now, there was almost 40. It was really fun. It was great to see how the game has grown, and the passion, the skill level, how the game is being taught in other countries. I think is really good for the overall game. It just, the level of competition it helps everybody.
Dirk Nowitzki came to the league in 1998. What do you think? How important was his influence also for the next generation of European players?
Yeah, that probably you can't even quantify how many people he inspired outside of America. That hey, if he can do it, and he has an incredible work ethic, and he's doing amazing things and winning MVPs, winning a championship. I think that he was close to leading the league in scoring. That probably inspired a lot of young kids. To dream and dream bigger.
Last question. You also have 2 European guys here on your roster, Pelle and Nikola. Nikola came directly from Europe, and Pelle played 4 years in the college. Is that for you as a coach a big difference if a European player comes from Europe or from college?
It's not apples to apples. It all depends on the player. It's like us in drafting. Sometimes you draft a young guy and you develop him. Sometimes you draft a 4-year player. Everybody's experience is different. Nico was playing pro ball. I think the experiences of the last 2 summers playing for a Serbian national team that had massive expectations in those tournaments where every possession mattered, and being coached by a very demanding coach, I think that really helped him. And then Pelo was coached hard, in both of his places, well schooled, by the time he got to here.